Very excited to be here this afternoon with Heather Steinman. Heather is the VP of Business Development at the Wistar Institute and also the Executive Director of Tech Transfer at Wistar. Heather, the thing that I'm excited about is you've been doing this tech transfer thing for a while, and I'm really eager to hear how you got into it and what it's all about for you, because you are very good at it.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me today. I couldn't be more honored, and I do think that it's a great opportunity to be able to say hi and thanks, Joe, for having me. Second of all, I'm awfully grateful that we didn't go to how long have you been doing tech transfer, because then I'd be dating myself, but needless to say, I've been doing it over 22 years already, which is kind of hard for me to believe. But it's absolutely, it's critical. I love what I do. It's so important. I couldn't be more proud to be doing it for Wistar. And without it, there's no way that we'd have startups or biotechs or the next generation of drugs or diagnostics to help people that have needs. So I couldn't be more delighted than to be here today. So thanks for having me.
Well, we're happy to have you. And Heather, you and I have talked about this. Wistar has a special place in my heart because we were involved in the planning of your new tower. And I think there's sometimes some confusion about who Wistar is, because you sit in the heart of the Penn campus. So perhaps you'd like to take a minute just to tell us exactly about the Wistar story and what you do and how you fold into the life sciences community down in the institutional core there.
Sure. And thanks again for this opportunity, because many of us are familiar with the Wistar Institute. Everyone has known that we've been in the same footprint here at 36th and Spruce for a long time. And we are, in fact, the nation's very first biomedical research institute. So we're a nonprofit. All we do is discovery research, and our research is centered on cancer research as well as infectious diseases. So most of the local community, as well as folks all around the globe, are familiar with a lot of the things that we've been able to work with our partners to translate into new medicines. So fun fact for you, Wistar is the home of the spinout that is locally known, or used to be known as Centocor. Little known fact, Wistar is the place that is the original originator of immunotherapy. So going back many years, we were the first to come up with being able to develop antibodies that recognize tumors and cancer cells. Wistar is the place that came up with some of the original first cell-based therapies that were tested in the clinic. Wistar is the place that originated the rabies vaccine, the rubella vaccine that you hear about even more so today, with our collaborators at CHOP and with local pharmaceutical company, the rotavirus vaccine. So all of these things came from Wistar through our collaborations with our industry partners, and we're small. We've been here practically the same size, and we've been in the same place, and we're proud to be doing our research. So from that perspective, we're a discovery engine that's focused on meaningful translation of our discoveries for the benefit of people.
So I know you have some exciting things that are in the pipeline right now and that also you have transferred out recently. Heather, perhaps you can give us some insight into actually how that process works and how important you are in your role in moving things along from off the lab, the discovery lab, and into the drug development process.
Sure. So a lot of people don't know, but all the foundation of the next generation of therapy comes from basic research. And basic research it's very complex, but essentially you need to know how something works in order how to improve it. And in order to go from an idea all the way through to make a new drug or to make a new diagnostic, it takes many, many years. It costs lots of money that most nonprofit organizations can't afford. And furthermore, we're not drug developers, we're researchers. And so in order to move those ideas that are coming out of our 32 independent labs that are focused on understanding how cancer begins, how tumors metastasize, how to make treatments for cancer patients better, and how you can prevent people from relapsing from treatment. All of these things are what we do here within Wistar, including work on COVID-19 and being able to prevent and treat it. So everything from cancer to infectious diseases is what Wistar is really good at, but we're not going to be making a product that treats patients. So that's where Wistar's role, and most importantly, what we do to help translate the ideas from our scientists into things that can be worked on by our industry partners in order to move medicines through the clinic and onto the market in an accelerated manner and timeline so people can benefit in the near term. So we're just one piece of the whole puzzle, but without us, the whole system wouldn't work. And I think the same goes for many of our life sciences community stakeholders. And I think that's why Philly works so well together, because everyone is very different. You can be as nimble as Wistar and independent sitting within the framework of a big city, but that's because we have so many wonderful collaborations and people that are trying to help us get our discovery into.
Heather, I'm so glad you brought up COVID-19 because you have a really exciting collaboration going on. I wonder if you'd tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So we are collaborators with Inovio Pharmaceuticals to advance a DNA-based vaccine. News on the advancement of the vaccine, that is ongoing clinical trials at the University of Pennsylvania and another site as well, and more sites are opening up. But for the latest news, I highly recommend look at Inovio's announcements where information is publicly available. But for the most part, keep in mind, we do the research, the discovery, the design, the advancement, and all of our other partners are required along the way to be able to see our ideas and our discoveries get translated into the next generation of products.
Well, there's one other story I'd like to touch on. You were integral in making a connection with Andy Luber and taking another of your therapies to market. I'd love to hear more about how that came to be and where things stand with that.
So Andy and Varion Therapeutics, I think, is another great example of finding the right people and the right talent to work with your inventors, and likewise the technology advancements that we, Wistar, are proud to be able to invest in and be able to externalize so the technologies can be taken to the next level. So Varion is a great example of how supportive the local community is. I met Andy years ago, and as part of that, you come to develop a trust network where there's really talented people, and that there are people that have a single mission of being able to align with you to accomplish goals. So I couldn't be more proud to be as supportive as possible with the startup that we did spin out of Wistar around technology on a T-cell immunocharged along with checkpoint inhibitor based opportunity with multiple candidates coming through preclinical and into clinical development. So, I think everyone should stay tuned and certainly support Varion on their journey because it's all of our journeys, and the more we can do together, the better.
Well, Heather, we really want to thank you for this quick snapshot, a look, as it were, under the hood in terms of what you're doing and what the Wistar Institute is doing, and what a critical foundational role both your institution and you yourself play in making sure that the discoveries that are happening at 36 and Spruce are making their way into drug development and on their way to patients. So thank you very much. It's really exciting what's happening there, and we look forward to staying tuned with your progress on a number of new therapies.
All the thanks goes to you, so thanks, Joe.